Good evening, everybody, and welcome to this week's edition of the Pretenders or Contenders Coaches Show. I'm your host, Coach Devon Powell, head football coach at Law High School, also assistant basketball coach at Law High School. And I got my two co-hosts with me today. You got the Midnight Rider. What's going on, brother?
What's going on, man? How we doing today?
Feeling good. How about yourself?
Doing good.
Good. And then we got in studio with us again today. We got Coach Mitchell, Riverdale Baptist special teams coach. How you doing, Coach?
Good. How about yourself?
Doing good. Trying to avoid any tornadoes today. That all I've gotten is rain in my area. I don't know about you guys.
I think that's all I got too was rain. But the Beltway was crowded and everybody drives crazy when it rains. So it's a good thing we got home early.
Yeah. And thank God I worked from home today. I didn't have to go in. So
It was easy today. I mean, it was just a lot of rain. I think I left about 5 minutes to 5, and then when I got home, it just looked like a war zone. Nobody was outside. Nothing was going on. Cars weren't moving. It was crazy, man. I've never seen my neighborhood that quiet ever.
It's scary.
Yeah,
Pretty scary.
yeah, when I start seeing schools announce early dismissals last night, I was like, okay, what in the world is going on here? But hey, I would love to have a job where I could get it wrong 70% of the time and keep my job.
Yeah.
it's the
I don't
beauty of the
understand how
gift.
we I don't understand how we got all these. We got the European model, we got the American model, we got all these models, but they can't seem to get the weather
The basics
predicted.
right.
Right. So must be nice. Must be nice. All right, everybody. Thank y'all for joining us again this week, man. We got another great show lined up for everybody today. We'll be joined in a few minutes by the head coach, Nick Ofiesh from Bowie High School girls basketball. Gonna come on to talk a little bit about the great season that they had at Bowie High School, and talk about some of his key players this year and returning players for next year. Um, right now, we're going to talk a little bit about the PG County basketball season and just recap two of our programs, well, three of our programs that played in the state semifinals last week. Unfortunately, all three lost, came up short, so we don't have anybody from PG County representing us in the state championship this year. But they all still had a great season. So just want to shout out CMIT North boys who participated in the Class 1A semifinals. They played against the Seed School in Baltimore, and they lost 59-53, and which was a close game throughout. And they just fell short. So I wanted to shout out them and Coach Herm for a great season over there at CMIT North, which if nobody knows, they're located in Laurel as well. Then we had undefeated Charles Flowers boys team um, that played against Walt Whitman the other night, and unfortunately, they came up short. Um, they lost to Walt Whitman 69-62.
Yeah, that was a good game. I was actually at that game and it was electrifying when we went up, I think, by 5. And then I don't know if we just relaxed a little bit. I'm not sure what happened, but we was up. We were down the whole game and then we were up. All we had to do was just hold that momentum, and it just unfortunately we didn't get it.
Right.
We didn't get it.
No,
Well,
this is Whitman is what, third time now in the finals.
hey man, I call Whitman the Buffalo Bills of high school basketball, man, because third straight year they went to the finals, and they've lost all 3 years. So
Mm,
they were defeated by Blake High School. Um,
yeah.
the other night in the state championship. And so again, like I said, this was. I mean, hey, you got to be doing something right if you'd have made it to the championship 3 straight years. Not gonna knock them. I don't like them, but I'm not gonna knock them. But yeah, like I said, coach runs a system over there, and it suits them well. And hey, they've been in championship 3 straight years. They just haven't been able to get over that hump yet. So again, shout out to Blake High School for winning their first state championship in anything since the school has opened up. So congratulations to them. And then I want to shout out the Charles Flowers girls team, who also made it into the semifinals. And they lost to the Walt Whitman girls 50-38. So on the girls' side, Walt Whitman will be playing against Richard Montgomery on the girls' side in the championship. I don't think that game has happened yet. We have some state championship games that happened, but let's see. No, they were supposed to play tonight, but it got moved to Wednesday night. So still shout out to Coach Rod over there at Flowers. Rod's been doing it for a long time. When I used to coach girls basketball on the AAU side, me and Rod used to connect on a lot of events and things. So, he's doing his thing over there. Flowers used to be at Roosevelt for a while, where he won a couple of state championships on the girls' side. So, congrats to all 3 of our PG County teams that made it this far. And said, unfortunately, we won't have a county championship this year. I mean, a state championship this year. Sorry about that.
For sure.
Your boy, Coach Drip is loving his life in the comments.
I'm not even sure I want to entertain that fool today. But we got Coach Jerome saying what's up. Coach Jerome is part of that Bowie. He's on our football staff at law, but he's also part of the Bowie girls staff as well. Coach Drip checking in. Yes, sir. One of my favorite shows. Coach Marcus always checking in, talking about he was home before 3 today. That's a record. Don't get used to it, Marcus. I don't know what Jerome was laughing at. Coach Mark says CMIT North is a hidden gem. They've had a solid program the last couple of years, so they're doing their thing up there. Coach Drip still in the comments. They say, "Oh, Coach Drip finna start wilding." That's what he did. Oh yeah, County Boys got a chip. Big Bad Blake, let's go. If y'all don't know, Coach Drip is a Montgomery County lifer, and they're not used to having good things up there, so he's enjoying himself right now. Let's see who we got. We got Coach Ash checking in. She said, "Good evening, everybody." Coach Vic checking in. Shout out to my guys Benji Wilson, Amani folks for a States. They play football at Blake as well. Coach Drip, we got state championships, football, soccer, basketball, whatever, Drip. I'm entertaining you the rest of the night. Coach Mitch, that's the same guy that said they was going to beat us 35-0.
Oh.
And a flag game, Montgomery County versus PG. So,
hey, how did it end up? Or let's get it, whichever one.
Yes, let's get it, because they
let's
sure won't beat us. They
down
sure
for
won't score 35 points. Right.
Is our guy?
So hey,
I'm sorry. I was like, our guy Brandon Brooks. Is he a senior or is he a junior?
No, he's a junior. I was just about to mention him. I was about to give him a shout out. He's actually tried to get him on tonight, but he's going to the Wizards game tonight, so we're gonna get him lined up for next week. But no, Brandon is a junior. Shout out to Brandon. 4A County Player of the Year. He had a great season this year. He scored his 1,000th point as a junior, and yeah, he's coming back. So we're gonna have to deal with him for one more year. over there, Flowers. So yeah, he had a great season, man. He improved on a lot of things. He wasn't just a scorer this year. You know, he was actually passing the ball a lot better, um, rebounding better, and yeah, he had a great season. I like his game. He's one of my guys in the county. So I just wanted to give him a little shout out real quick. It's not too many Flowers people I shout out.
No, he did good this year. He matured a little and he was getting it. I mean, he had a big impact. So
Yeah, he
that was
did.
good.
Yeah, thought they was gonna win it all, but you know things happen. Sometimes things happen. You know, once that momentum switches, it's hard to change it. And once it gets rolling, so like you, Coach Mitch, I was watching the game and I was like, yeah, they're gonna put it away. And I kept going in and out of the game, and I was just like, dang, they just
I mean, they scored
can't
three
get it going.
baskets. Every time they scored, we got the ball, we threw it in. It went to the opposing team. They turned right around and scored a basket. And then they did it again and did it again like 3 times. Maybe they just, I don't know. Yeah, it was rough. It was rough.
Let me tell you, Whitman is one of the luckiest high school basketball teams I'd have never seen in life. Like, you go back to 2 years ago when we played them in the quarterfinals. Close game. We played them there, and I'm talking about the Spartans. We played them there, and you know they had a BS foul call at the end of the game, and they was able to win that by a couple of points.
Mm.
We missed the three at the buzzer. Then the next year, last season, they had in their regional matchups. I think they had 2 games that came down to the wire, and they pulled them out. But luckily, we took care of business with them in the state championship, beat them pretty badly. And then this year, I'm watching them their games in the regionals, and they should have lost 2 games in the region. They should have never even made it to the quarterfinals, but they did, and they just always find a way to pull out a close game. You know what's
Yeah, I think
working
if
for
we
them,
had
but
shut
hey,
down if we had shut down their 3-point shooters, like locked them down, then I don't think they would have. They can't do anything without those guys. And we had them at one
yep,
point and just didn't capitalize on it. But shut those guys down, and that's it.
yep. And Coach Ripper's in the comments. He said he thought Whitman was going to lose, but Whitman is a well coached team. They are. They are. You know, I'll give it to them. I'll give credit when credit is due. The coach does a great job up there. They do run a good system, but they do have a lot of luck that comes along with them. So, but hey, congratulations to their great season. All right, we got move on now. We got Coach Nick is going to be joining the set here. Coach Nick is the girls basketball coach at Bowie High School. How's it going, Coach?
Good. How are you, Coach? Can you hear me?
Doing pretty good, man. I appreciate you. Yeah, I can hear you.
All right.
Yeah. Appreciate you taking the time to join us tonight. How's everything going?
Going good. Appreciate you having me, man.
All right, we joined here. We got my co-host Midnight Rider and Coach Mitchell. So let's get straight into it, man. Let's talk about your coaching journey, how you got started, and how you ended up at Bowie High School.
Well, I coached boys JV basketball and varsity assistant in Northern Virginia for 10 years. And this is my 5th year as a head coach at Bowie High School. This is my first head coaching position. It was a big transition going from coaching guys to coaching girls, but I loved it though. It's going well.
Where were you at? Virginia?
I coached at Washington Lee High School. It's now called Washington Liberty. And I also coached at Langley.
Okay.
Yep.
What's that difference between coaching the boys and the girls?
So one thing I realized right away, because it's funny, when I took this job, the first thing the girls told me was they didn't want to be treated different than the guys. But I learned real fast that wasn't true.
That's not true.
Yeah, but you know, I'm a teacher, so you know I work with young men and young women every day, and the same thing about the differences in the way I interact with boys and girls in my classroom, I notice is the same thing, with basketball. One thing I really like about coaching girls is and I know everybody says it, but they really do listen more. Like with guys will challenge you a lot, whereas girls try to follow directions and they try to soak up as much as they can learn from you, and it makes it really enjoyable as a coach. I also feel like I have more control over the girls game than I do over the guys game. I guess because of that, because a lot of times you coaching basketball, you have you coaching guys, you have guards that might want to kind of take the game into their own hands a little more when you're coaching guys than girls, at least from my experience.
All right, makes sense.
Yeah, so myself and Midnight Rider, we both coached girls basketball. I ran an AAU girls program for years. I ran Marissa Coleman's program when she first started that up. And, I always tell people that between boys and the girls, I coach with boys now, that coaching girls basketball was like my favorite thing to coach. And it's basically just because, like you just said, like, you can put your hands on the girls and their development a little more than what you can do with the boys. They listen a little bit more. They want to work harder than some of the boys do. The joy, it's always a joy coaching the girls. But you said that you're talking about the differences or whatever. How have you seen the girls' game change over the last few years than it is now?
Well, one thing is just that it's blowing up in popularity, and the popularity of the women's game with Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese, that it transfers over into high school as well, and the skill level for girls has gone up greatly, in the last 10 to 15 years. Like that's one thing I realized right away when I first started coaching in PG County. I underestimated how many of these girls can really play. And you can do, back in the day, you might have thought with girls basketball, it's going to be less advanced strategy wise than coaching boys, but it's not that way anymore. You got girls that can handle the ball, that are athletic, that can shoot the lights out. And it's a lot of talent out here, and it's highly competitive. I mean, and I love it. I'm fortunate that I got a great group of girls that I've been able to coach as well.
And I mean, to be honest, I think sometimes girls can even outdo the boys, depending on, So some girls can actually outdo the boys. Not that the boys will like that, but they can actually.
I definitely have some girls that play for me that can outshoot, boys players, no question.
Right. They won't like it, but
that's true.
Coach, what's your thought?
Like we had going down the stretch at Bowie High School, the last 3 or 4 games, the atmosphere was amazing. Like people were just as into it as they are at boys games. Like the gym was sold out. We had a couple games where like I'm screaming at the top of my lungs during timeouts, and my players couldn't even hear what I was saying. It was so loud in the gym. And it's awesome to see everybody in the community come out, to watch the girls play just like they do with the guys.
So what do you think sparked that interest?
Well, one thing about the Bowie community is like and as you know, PG County in general, we're a basketball community. Like, so when there's a winning basketball team, people want to get on board with it. They want to watch good basketball, and they want to see a team that goes out there and plays the right way. And Bowie High School is a great community. And like when you're achieving at a high level, and even when we're not, the whole school community, administrators, other teachers, parents, they come out and support. And it was awesome to see, all the love that we got this season coming down the stretch.
Right. And I think that may stem from Bowie Bulldogs too. I don't know if Little League Bowie Bulldogs, because they all filter from that group of, my kids played football for Bowie Bulldogs, and I mean, it was great. It's like a little community, and they follow you all the way through. So you'll see a Bowie person anywhere you go, and it's just like family. So I love the Bowie community for that.
Absolutely. Totally agree. I'm lucky to be able to coach in a community where it's tight knit like that.
Yeah.
Real quick before I ask my next question, We got Coach Josh Pratt. He's the head basketball coach over at Spalding High School. He said back in the Pilates days, we got that program to the A conference. Coaching girls made me a better coach. Me and Coach Pratt coached the girls at Pilates for about 4 seasons before he moved on from there. So, it's coaching girls basketball, man, it's a great experience. So let's talk about the season you had. You guys had a great season. I think you guys were like what? I think you only lost like 2 games during the season, and unfortunately, you got beat in the playoffs. But it was a great year for you guys. Talk about that season. Talk about the season, and what was the highlights of your season.
Yeah, so we finished 22-3. We, at the beginning of the season, we set our goals, and our goals was to win county championship. Bowie basketball had never won a county championship. We wanted to win the region championship. We only had one for Bowie girls basketball. That was in 1992, and we wanted to win a state championship. So we came up a little bit short on our goals, but we did achieve the county championship and the region championship. We had a bunch of big wins. We beat Roosevelt twice. They're a rival for us. So that was big. In our holiday tournament, we beat Richard Montgomery by 14, and they're in the final game on Wednesday. And we beat Howard High School, who had real tough 3A team this year. We beat them in overtime. It was a great game. We beat Flowers. Flowers has kind of been at the top of the mountain in PG County since I've been here. This is my 5th year coaching girls basketball at Bowie. So that was a big win for us. And then in our region that we're in for the playoffs is the most brutal region in the state. The region is Broadneck, Annapolis, North Point, Leonardtown, us, and Crofton. So we got to bye because we finished first, and we had to play North Point first, who was the Southern Maryland champion, and 2 days later we had to play Annapolis, who was the Anne Arundel champion. They had just come off a big win against South River. We beat both of those teams. And then 2 days after that, we played Western in the quarterfinals, and we just came up a little bit short in a close game. But we definitely felt like we had the toughest road, and like we almost pulled it off. But I mean, I couldn't have been more proud of my girls. I started 5 seniors this year. And 3 of them had been with me on varsity for 4 years. So like we felt very confident, going into the season. And with expectations comes pressure, both for myself and my coaching staff, as well as the girls. And I thought everybody handled it really well. And sometimes it's a whirlwind while the season is going on. And it can be hard to like enjoy it, because especially the way this season was going, it seemed like every time we got a big win, we didn't have much time to enjoy it because it's another big game coming right up. But I felt like we did a pretty good job of enjoying the ride while also staying focused.
Well, that's good, because at any point in time, you can just miss it. You're so busy. You win this one and you're preparing for the next one. But are you really enjoying the in-betweens while you're working hard, but still enjoying the in-betweens? Like, we got to make sure we're doing both. So that's good.
Absolutely.
Can you talk us through you said you had 5 seniors that were with you for 4 years. Can you talk to those 5 players?
Absolutely. So 3 of them were with me for 4 years. You got Sanaa Blunt. Sanaa is one of the most versatile players in the state of Maryland. So get this, 2 seasons ago when Sanaa was a sophomore, we went 21-3 was our record. We lost to North Point in the regional final that year. And that's in that same North Point team won the state championship the next year. And on that team that went 21-3, Sanaa played center. She started at center the whole season. She's only about 5'4". This year we went 22-3, and she started the whole season playing point guard. So that's how versatile. I can put her at any of 5 positions, and she can get the job done. She can guard all 5 positions. She can pretty much do it all. And when she came to me as a freshman, she was the kind of player who you could see the potential. But maybe she was a little bit hesitant and not so confident, but she worked her butt off in the off season for 4 years, and like the improvement that she made was amazing, to the point where I'm confident she's going to play at the next level. She's not sure where she's playing yet, but I think she will. And then you got Amira Kittles. She's always been a great shooter. She's one of the best shooters in the state. Her sophomore year on that 21-3 team, she was honorable mention All Met. She kind of had a down season last year, but she came back in a big way this year. Like I said, she always been a great shooter, but she added rebounding to her game, where the last couple seasons she was our leading rebounder, and this year she was out there making plays and getting assists too, and she played huge down the stretch. Then you got Autumn Welch, was the third one that was with me for 4 years, and she was one of the best scorers in the state this year. She averaged over 19 points a game, and she shot on the season close to 60% from the field. And she's got multiple offers, not sure where she's playing yet. So those are the three that were with me for 4 years. Then you got Michaela Rice, who was with me for 2 years. She transferred from Elizabeth Seton last season, and she was a good player last season, but she worked her butt off in the off season. And this year, like I felt she's one of the best defenders in the state of Maryland. Like every game, if there was a matchup of somebody that we felt we needed to slow down or shut down, it was always going to be her guarding them, and she always delivered. And then she also upped her offensive game to the point where she was averaging close to 8 points a game. And we had a big game. We had a big win on the road at Wise, where she led us in scoring. She had 17 points. And like the way our team is, the other four all average double figures. So like, the way we were seeing it, like if she can go out there and get 15 or 16, we're going to be tough to beat. So like she's one of those players where it's like, yeah, she might not have been our very best player, but she might be the most important player with the energy that she brought and the way that she played defense. And then lastly, you got Carlotta Mbanyam. This was her first year with me. She transferred from Riverdale Baptist, and she played her freshman and sophomore year. She played at Shabak. But she has multiple offers also, and she's not sure where she's going yet. She's probably going to play at the Division II level. But she's a great playmaker. So like, and we always knew that about Carlotta. So like, as soon as she joined the team, you could tell that was kind of the piece that we have been missing to get over the hump, because she's a pass first player. She gets everyone else involved. She sees the floor. And it was like, as soon as she came into the mix and started playing with us, we just started moving the ball at a whole nother level, and it became infectious to where like passing was like we score a lot of points. We averaged over 70 points a game this year, and we shot over 50% from the floor as a team. But the thing I was most proud of was we averaged more than 19 assists a game, and a lot of that was due to Carlotta and all five of those players, especially Amira, Sanaa, Autumn, and Carlotta. They all average double figures. They're all over 5 rebounds a game, and they're all somewhere between 4 and 7 assists a game. So it wasn't like we had one person filling up the stat sheet. Like, we could hurt you from multiple angles, and we really played a team game. And I didn't even mention we had Nevaeh Daniels off the bench, was a sophomore, is probably the most talented player on our team. So and Aubrey Penn also played huge down the stretch. She's a rising senior. She's going to be the leader of our team coming back. She was injured most of the season, but for the first half of the season, once she got out there, she made some of the biggest plays down the stretch in the playoff run.
So with all that, what is your thoughts on offense and defense? When I watched the game last week for Flowers boys, I mean, my take is for basketball anyway, like defense, if you have a good defense, you know, that can get you to where you need to go. Like, that wins basketball games for me. Like, what's your thoughts on offense and defense with basketball games?
No, I totally agree. You gotta, I mean, you gotta be able to get stops when you get to the playoffs. Like you might be able to get through a regular season outscoring people, but one thing I noticed every year from watching the playoffs is that the teams that play the best defense are the ones that are there in the end. So we came into this season in particular with a focus on working on our defense because we already know that we could score points and that we have a talented offensive team. But we know that if we wanted to be there at the end, we were going to have to get stops. Our philosophy this year was we come out and play full court man-to-man defense for the entirety of the first quarter, and really as long as we can last with it without being in foul trouble. And then one thing I'm sure you guys know about the girls' game, which can be frustrating sometimes, is they call a lot more touch fouls. So it can be difficult to play, pressured man-to-man defense for a whole game without getting in foul trouble. So you usually have to throw some zone in there. And we play a 2-3 zone once we come out of our man-to-man. The way we play it is fairly aggressive. Like the people on the bottom are responsible for taking the wing pass immediately. And we try to get the middle of the front to post and get the opposite side to come on backside help because we're not a big basketball team. So when we played teams with bigs this year, it was really crucial that we did a good job. Having somebody get around the front and also being on the backside, and that just being able to execute that won some big games for us. But the thing that was great for us when we would go to the 2-3 zone is Carlotta is a great all around basketball player. Like I said, she's a playmaker. She could score, but she also knows how to rebound with positioning, as does Amira Kittles. And Autumn Welch is not a bad rebounder either. But especially Carlotta, when she would secure a defensive rebound when we're in the zone, you got those other four scorers. And even if it was Aubrey Penn or Neve Daniels in off the bench, you got four people that can score and everybody would be gone. And like I said, Carlotta's a great passer. So if you saw us play this season, there's a lot of her getting a rebound. She's looking and she's throwing dimes and we could turn it around on you quick. So that was our everything that we did, even though we scored a lot of points, was based around our defense. And then offensively, I like to think we run some of the best stuff. Like a lot of in PG County, it's frustrating, but a lot of teams don't play man to man. Most of the teams play straight odd front zone, like 3-2 zone or some kind of junk zone where they try to throw you off and trap and stuff. So we're used to playing against that, but luckily we got to play against a bunch of teams this year that did like to play man-to-man. And when teams went man-to-man on us, I thought we did a great job of executing, any number of sets and being able to score off them. My girls this year, because they've been with me for a while and because they're a really coachable group of kids, I could basically talk to them in the middle of the game, say, hold up, bring it out. I'm looking, okay, let's run this. And they would execute it. And it was awesome to watch. It was fun to be a part of.
So you mentioned two of your girls that are coming back next year, but what does your outlook look for next season? You're losing 5 seniors, 6 seniors, I think you said. So what does it look like for you next year?
Yeah, we graduated 6 seniors, but we got a lot of talent coming back. So you got Aubrey Penn. She's a senior. She's going to be the point guard for us, but she's really a combo guard and like she can do it all. She's got great ball handling skills. She gets to the basket, as well as anybody, and she can shoot. But one thing that she does is she hits threes in transition consistently, and it makes her a really tough cover for the other team because if she's coming downhill, most of the time she's looking to get to the basket, but because she always has the defense on her heels, at any moment she can pull a 3 off the dribble in transition. She hit 2 or 3 of those that were in big moments during the playoffs. So we got Aubrey. You also got Tiani Smith that wasn't able to, she's a rising junior. She's about 5'11". And she wasn't able to join the team until the last 4 games of the season, but she's 5'11". She's a great passer. She sees the floor, and she's like more of a stretch forward where she likes to step out and shoot the three, and she can shoot it consistently. You got Neve Daniels. I'm not sure if Neve is coming back to Bowie, but I hope that she does. It's like I said, she's probably the most talented player on our team. Like she's fast, she's athletic, she can score, she's a great defender. And she played big for us this season as well. It just with having those 5 seniors, it was tough for her to get minutes. But if she comes back, like, you know, we could go on another run like we did this year. Even if she doesn't, I still think we'll be really good. We also got a rising sophomore named Sky Banks, who played mostly on JV, but played up with varsity in a bunch of games. And like she's really strong and athletic. She's got a lot to work on as far as basketball, but she's a Division I athlete. And she works her butt off. She plays great defense. She'll rebound, do the little things. She goes hard at practice every day. And then you also got another rising senior named Mia Dowdy, who she probably would have played more this season, but she wasn't necessarily around all the time because she was the lead in the school play. But she was so she missed a lot of practice for play practice. The team went and saw the school play was High School Musical. She was awesome in it. But if she would have been there more, she would have been in the mix. But she's so talented that we wanted to have her on the team anyway, and especially for next year, she's going to probably be a starter for us as well. And she's a fairly tall player. She's about 5'9", and she can do a little bit of everything on the floor. So we definitely like what we have coming back. And another thing that I've noticed from being out here in PG County is like that's what me and everybody that's seen our team knows that we have coming back, but I can't count on what anybody's roster is going to look like until right before the season. It's like that transfer portal mentality has definitely filtered its way down into high school sports.
Good deal. You're muted if you're talking.
We can't hear you if you're talking.
I got myself. My bad. I was just trying to say, talk about the transfer mentality or what you've been dealing with in terms of people transferring last minute. What you can say.
Well, so funny thing is, so luckily I haven't had. I don't want to. Let me think before I say it. Yeah, I've only had one player that ended up transferring while I've been coaching at Bowie. But I've seen like 1 year Wise won the county championship, and they would have had all their players back, and their whole team ended up transferring. But the coach stuck with it, and they were still pretty good the next year. I was impressed by that. But I'll look at teams and be like, okay, they got her coming back. They got these players coming back, and then I see them at the beginning of the season, and they have 3 or 4 other players that are new that I didn't see there last year, and I'm noticing that it's kind of just part of the landscape out here, now, and a lot of people are doing it with, back in the day, it was like when you would see players transferring, especially within a county, it was like, it could be like a big scandal or like some rules were being broken. And admittedly, I'm relatively new to PG County. I've been teaching at Bowie High School for 8 years. This is my 5th year coaching. But what I'm noticing is like it's kind of open season. I think they even call it open season rule, like about people not necessarily going to their home school. So we got to try to adapt to it. And then at the same time, you got private schools coming and getting your talent too. So it's like a scramble for everybody to get, to put a roster together. But luckily I had a group, that stuck with me for a lot of them for 4 years. And they reap the benefits of it. Sometimes it's better to just stick together and get it right, rather than, because I didn't get my way this time, I'm going to go, I'm going to go somewhere else and try to find somebody else that'll give me what I want,
Right. I smile because I don't know if basketball has a different rule, but I don't think there's any open open enrollment or open slots. I don't think
I
so.
just remember at some point they said it was an open season rule. They actually called it open season. That was
It
how
must be a
it
basketball
was
thing,
like,
right?
yeah, and
Right,
it
Coach
was like
Powell? Must be a
Yeah, somebody
you
made
could basically transfer, and
somebody
it
made
wasn't.
that one all the way up.
Oh, it's certainly not in football, I can tell you that.
No, not at all.
Good stuff.
So Coach, we appreciate you joining us tonight, man, and taking the time to talk about your season, man. But before I let you go, man, anybody you want to shout out, your staff, your biggest supporters, school, anybody?
Yeah, you took the words right out of my mouth. I was like, I definitely want to shout out my coaching staff before I get out of here, man. I have a great coaching staff. I got my man Jose Romero. He's been with me from the beginning. We did 2 seasons where he's the JV coach. We did 2 seasons where it was just me and him. He was JV coach. I was the varsity coach. We coached the varsity games together. We had a lot of success, but it's been even better since we added my man Donnell Boyce to the staff. He's got over 25 years of coaching experience. He's an amazing assistant coach. He's great with the girls. And then we added 2 new younger members of our coaching staff this year, Hendel Jerome, who did a great job, and a young lady named Favor Okpali, who was, in addition to being an assistant coach, also our videographer. She did our media day, and she was our video person as well. And like, I guess you just gotta have somebody following you around with a camera nowadays when you're coaching high school kids. Like, they feed off that social media stuff, and she did an amazing job with that, and it really enhanced the experience of the season. Also, like to thank the principal, Joseph Kautzer, and the athletic director, Jessica Brandt, and Eric Lemaster, who's the acting athletic director at the end of the season, and everybody at Bowie High School. It's a great place to be, and the way everybody came out and supported the girls was awesome. Especially at the end of the year.
All right, Coach. Well, your guy, Coach Jerome, also coaches on my JV football staff, and I fire him every other day. So.
Coach Jerome's my man. He's an awesome kid, man.
Yeah, I told him he can't come up into our Spartan area hollering "We are Bowie" because he definitely gonna get fired. Coming there doing that again.
He's doing a great job. He's got a bright coaching future ahead of him.
All right, well, I appreciate you, man, joining us tonight, man. And like I said, congratulations on a great year. I know you said you didn't hit all your goals you wanted to, but man, it was a great season for those girls, man. And I appreciate you joining us tonight, and looking forward to seeing y'all next season, next year.
Thank you, Coach. I appreciate you guys.
All right, good luck.
All right, have a good one.
All right, that was Coach Nick Ofiesh, the head basketball coach, girls basketball coach at Bowie High School. Just talking about the great season that they had. Appreciate him for taking time to join us this evening. And Coach Mitch, I'm still laughing about that open season.
Hey, listen, if they had open season, boy, we must have missed the memo.
Season. Yeah, they had open season in football. You talking about the Wild Wild West then? Lord.
Oh my goodness. But I think it's our responsibility as coaches. I know we talked a little bit about. I mean, it's up to us to keep our kids. Now, we do our best to give them all the opportunity to coach them right, to treat them right, to make sure they got everything they need. But if a kid decides to go somewhere else, I mean, then to decide to go somewhere else, is it us or is it them? Or are they just not happy where they are or looking for something better? So we try our best to keep our kids. But at the end of the day, it's, their decision or their parents' decision, or it's a rough world out there.
It is what it is. I always say, if a kid wants to leave and a parent has made up their mind that they want to leave, hey, do what you feel like you're doing best for your child. It ain't my
Yeah.
job to try to convince you to stay because obviously something I've done or doing you don't like. So if you're looking for something else, go ahead and I hope you find it. But 9 times out of 10, those same people always come
Come back.
knocking back.
Well, we'll take you. We will take you.
Um, yeah,
No question. You say nope.
yeah. I take them back because I don't never
Oh,
hold
okay.
anything against kids.
Yeah.
I don't hold things against kids. But it's it's just funny how that always works out.
It's a learning process. You just got to go out there, see what's available, and then you realize that what you had was it's like a relationship. You try to go look for something better, and you come back to what you had and realize that what you had was the best thing for you. So just kind of stay where you are.
Yep, yep. Midnight and your girls coaching experience, especially I know you was out on the Virginia side for a minute as well. Um Private school, but you was out on the Virginia side. Have you noticed that did you notice back then that there was a lot of change, a lot of open recruiting?
Nah, we didn't have anything like that. It was funny. Um, a lot of our girls played lacrosse. Lacrosse was our biggest competitor. So we had to take a lot of young ladies that were just natural athletes. And we had to figure out a schedule to work around lacrosse because lacrosse was their bigger commitment. That was what a lot of them saw as their way to a scholarship. So that was like one of our big struggles.
That was your fight, yeah. But
Yeah,
lacrosse
it
is up
was
and coming, so I mean, if we can get into lacrosse too, though, it's like that is a way to get those scholarships where a lot of African Americans may not be playing lacrosse, and why not? Why not put us on the map for those things?
yeah, that's one thing when we started lacrosse, when we brought lacrosse to the county as an official sport. Because we used to have when I was in school of law, we had a club lacrosse team that was pretty good, but of course nobody else in the county had a team, so they had to go out elsewhere to get games. But since we came in, since we started as an official county sport, man, it seemed like the interest was there at the beginning. It's starting to die down a little bit, and we got to find a way how we can pick that back up because it's definitely a great avenue for student athletes to get some scholarship looks because there's definitely some scholarship money out there for lacrosse players,
Yeah,
boys and girls.
yeah,
Yeah, and then it's a great training sport because they're always going to be in shape because you're running constantly for lacrosse. So it's
hmm
no easier transition than to bring them on the court and have them playing some hoops. And they used to the structure, which was a beautiful thing. And then, like Coach was alluding to, when you have girls, they play in the structure, sometimes almost to a detriment at times. But I think that's kind of changing now because some of the girls are starting to have a more aggressive mentality in terms of handling the rock and trying to make plays with the basketball.
Hmm. Yeah, the coach mentioned it when we was talking about the game of girls basketball is definitely growing. Um, in my opinion, I feel like the county public schools um, has fallen off a little bit. It's not as strong as it used to be, in my opinion, because a lot of the top tier girls, just like any other sports in the county, they're going to the private schools. That's
yeah,
why you got McNamara, who's so good. Seaton was pretty decent this season, and so we've seen it. The county's basketball, like when I look at girls basketball, it's kind of unfair because I always compare it to back when I was coaching and some of the talent that we had in the public schools back then, and it's like it's just not the same anymore. It's just not the same. And until we can find a way to try to keep, and this goes for all sports, try to keep our kids in the county sports. I don't see how it's going to improve yet. But it was in a couple of games that I did watch at Bowie this year. It was exciting to watch them because they played a style of basketball that I like to play with girls. Like it was full court pressure, up pace, up tempo. Your defense pretty much was your offense most of the time. getting turnovers and attacking the basket. So it was good to see. I mentioned Coach Rod earlier at Flowers. I know he likes to play that type of style of basketball as well. So it's definitely is the opportunity for to grow and get back to where, and we talked about this on football coach Mitch, where we can get all of the schools back in the county growing and getting back to a more competitive situation. But it's going to take some time. It's going to take some time, and it's going to take some. We got to get some coaches in there that understand, how the girls' game is changing.
I was talking to Coach Pierre the other day, and he said the same thing. Now that he's kind of retired from football a little bit, he can spend some time focusing on what does PG County need.
Kind of retired.
Kind of retired. He says it allegedly. What does PG County need, and how can we get PG County better for sports? And focus on that and making it great. That's one of the things that we're missing, I think, for PG County, football, basketball, any sport, is how do we lock into all these different sports and make it a priority? And I don't think we're making it a priority. And that's why we're not keeping the good caliber kids in PG County. They're going elsewhere where they think it's better, and it's not. Because we can get the same recruiting coaches at our school, at your school, at all the schools in PG County, the same as the private school. We just got to have that buy-in from the entire county to say, hey, how do we make our program better? How do we get our program going forward? How do we bring it all together and just make it fun for the entire athletic department? So yeah, Coach Pierre may be a good advocate for that too.
Well, one of the coaches.
Got a couple comments.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, man. No, go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh no, I was gonna say you had a show. I forgot. I think it was the football coaches show where somebody talked about where part of the problem is these kids are being taught from an earlier age group or age range that playing for public school is going to get you seen as well as being at
private
Gerald, DeMatha, McNamara, somewhere like that. So,
and for me, that's an insult. When we're coaching at Flowers, shucks, we got the same caliber coaches coming through Flowers as they did with the DeMathers of the world. Now I'm not knocking private schools, right? Because now I'm at Riverdale Baptist, so private schools are great for that purpose, but don't discard public schools either, because we have the opportunity. The coaches are going to find you if you have the kid, so you just got to be able to market your kids. So is it us that's not marketing our kids, or are we not doing a good job of that, or why can't they find your kid? Whether it's the one kid on the team that's a losing team, they'll find your kid. So, we have to do a better job marketing our kids to these coaches so they can find us and they can come to the schools and build that relationship. At the end of the day, it's really all about building the relationships and letting them know we got caliber kids coming out of public, private, PG County schools as well. So don't sleep on PG County public schools. We got good caliber kids coming out of public schools.
To touch on what Midnight was saying, that comment that was made, I think it was by Coach Steve Rapp on our show. We got to do a better job of building relationships with the youth programs. Like I said, with the Law Boys and Girls Club, who's in our area at Law, I got two of the coaches and two of the guys that run the program on my staff. So that helps keep funnel those kids to our school. But we got to go back in and get in tune with the youth football and all youth sports to make those coaches see that, hey, public schools are just as good as private schools. Yeah, I'm no knock against private schools. I have nothing against private schools. Like I said, I coached at Pilates for years, so I have no knock against it. But everybody's not a private school kid, and public school has just enough to offer for those kids that private schools can offer. So it's one of those things that it's going to take some work, but it can be done.
Yep. You said you had some comments in the chat.
Going into the comments. Yep, going into the comments. Let's see. Coach Drip checking in. Coach Devon, I want to ask you as a coach, how do you keep players? Um, it's simple, drip relationships. Um, you gotta make a kid and their families want to. You got to give them something to show that you're there for that child. Um,
Mhm.
I personally don't kiss anybody's butt because that's just not me. I'm not going to do that. But if a family and a kid knows that you're there for them, that you're going to put all you can into their development, their growth, and to getting into a certain place, then that'll make them want to stay. But in this world of social media, social media is the devil, to be honest. I mean,
Yeah.
it has its good and its bad points, but these kids see like the schools like St. Francis and St. James and what they're selling and putting out to the kids, and they want to be a part of it, even though they're not on that level. So
Right.
it's all about relationships, Drip. That's how I see it.
The comment I heard the other day was, "I rather sit on the bench at one of those higher private schools than not, or go to a public school and stuff like that." But which is not the right thought process. But the other thing I think kids and parents need to watch out for is, yeah, you can go to these private schools, but make sure they're taking care of you. Because now that I'm at Riverdale, we got to make sure everybody's on the right track. It's like, make sure you have your 16 core credits for NCAA clearinghouse. You can't go there in the 11th grade or 12th grade and then realize that, oh my gosh, I don't have all the right credits for the Division 1 or Division 2, and now you got to go to JUCO because they didn't tell you that. They just want to bring you on to play football or whatever sport, but football right now. They want to bring you on to play football and don't really tell you the academic piece of it. And then at the end, there's no recourse for you. So now you're kind of screwed-ish. So now you have to go to a JUCO in order to get to the next level that you're trying to get to. So just be mindful of that. And I think that's one of the things that we do as coaches is making sure our kids are taken care of, not just on the field, but also off the field.
Yeah. Sorry. So we're kind of running out of time here. We took a little bit longer in our basketball conversation with Coach. So we're not going to get to cover all of the NCAA talk that I wanted to talk about, but I do want to give a shout out to a PG County native, Cam Ward, graduate from Moore High School, who's on the roster at Michigan State. They've made it into the tournament, of course. Tom Izzo always makes it into the tournament because he's a great coach. So I want to wish Cam good luck in the tournament coming up, except when they come against Duke, of course, because we're in the same region. But Cam has been doing a great job this year. In his time, he's played in 31 of the 32 games. He's averaging 15 minutes a game, just over 15 minutes a game, and about 5 points a game. So he's contributing on a high level team, and that's good for the county. When we got people like that to go on a high level and with a high level program and actually get to perform, that makes it look good for us as a county. So just wanted to give him a shout out, and also want to wish good luck to UMBC and Howard. They did them dirty by matching them up against each other in the first round, well, the play-in round. But that's all right. They still both had great seasons, so I wish them both luck this week in the tournament.
I've always hated that the automatic bids have to play in the play-in. I feel like if there's anybody, it should be the at-larges playing in the play-in, and the automatics automatically get to see Thursday and Friday.
Yep, I agree with that. I definitely agree with that. But they still get to say they in the tournament. So you
Right.
know, until they change it, we got to deal with it. But all right, midnight. We getting close to closing time here. Let us know what we got going on this week on the network.
Well, before we go network, we have the ESPN Women's Bracket Challenge and the Men's Bracket Challenge. If you find the group Sideline Junkies, the password is content capital CONTENT. Get your bracket in. You get up to 2 brackets. That way you ain't playing somebody that got 17 brackets. So trying to keep it limited in that regard. This week we're gonna have a little bit of a change in the schedule. Tomorrow night 7:30, Tuesday night flight. Wednesday 7:30, we do Nothing But Net, the NBA show, where we take you around the association in 30 minutes. Wednesday night after that, starting probably around 8:05, we're gonna do our women's bracket for the NCAA tournament. So if anybody's an expert on the women's bracket on the women's side and want to get their input and help us put together just one bracket for the whole group, let us know. Thursday we'll be off. We'll come back Saturday night at 9 with the WrestleManiacs. And then, as we always start the week off, Sunday morning, Sunday Rise at 11 a.m.
All right, appreciate that. And also, I gotta give a shout out. I'm glad Coach O'Shea put this in the comments. Give a shout out to the girls track program at the 300. Our girls is going to the indoor nationals this week, this Friday. So I want to wish them good luck there as they, go represent the land of the Spartans well and come on back with some kind of medal.
All right, Coach Drip, I got you.
Coach Mitch, anything you want to close?
No, this was good. Nothing really to say. We're just going to keep it going. But we definitely got to hook up with Coach Pierre and see what we can talk about to get this county, just kind of moving in the right direction with sports anyway.
Yep, you're right about that. All right, well, I'm going to let everybody go and get the dinner in because I'm starving right now. I'm sitting here trying to sneak and eat candy while I'm on camera right now. So appreciate everybody for joining in as always, man. And, we'll be back next week, same time, same place. So everybody have a good evening, stay safe, and have a good week.
You too. Thanks for having me.